Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to a Friday night race with RWB tonight, where we are joined with myself, RWB Debug, and RWB Winch in the commentators box as well. Good evening to you, Winchy boy.
Good evening. How are we?
Not too bad, not too bad. Thank you very much. Enjoying the life of having a 3.5-week-old baby screaming in my ear all the time. So apologies, everybody, if you hear him tonight. I've had to bring him in the commentary box because my mother just doesn't want to deal with him anymore. So, you know, that's how it rolls nowadays, isn't it? But anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, if you're watching, we are joined tonight. We're doing the WTCR18 RWB Championship. Last week, they were at round one. They had the Hungaroring, where they did qualifying, 20-minute qualifying, race 1 and race 2, 30 minutes each. And today we are at the Slovakia Ring, where we're joined currently. We're doing 20 minutes qualifying again, or maybe not 20 minutes qualifying. It's obviously been dumbed down to 10 minutes qualifying. Apologies for that. And then 2 30-minute races. Looking at the league table and the results from last week, race 1 last week, I can never say it in the Hyundai i30. Zirari? How do you say
I'm going to say Giriyar-Garunyan.
Giriyar-Garunyan. That sounds far too professional. Garunyan. That man there looks very fast because he won race 1 last. And looking at it, he won race 2 last week as well. And he's currently leading the championship as well. A very dominating lead. 40 points, with Mark Bean in second with 32. Jonas Bergist with 32 points in third. Mad Al fourth, and RWB all win fifth. And it's lovely to see tonight. One of the guys in the actual race itself is Mr. RWB Taz, none other than himself, in the Honda. That looks like it. So, Winch, are you seeing what we're seeing at the moment?
I have sorted out my technical differences, and yeah, I'm all
excellent.
good.
Excellent stuff. So yeah, so this man here, which we're currently watching at the moment, a little bit of argy-bargy there. I'm not too sure what happened there. I wasn't live on it, but this man at the moment for Pro Formula Esports, currently he's absolutely dominating the track out there. We've got 6 minutes qualifying to go. He's in that Hyundai WTC car, sorry, and fastest first sector, fastest second sector, and he's looking to put in he hasn't set a lap yet, but he's looking at dominating this one. Winch, did you watch last week's race?
I did, yeah. I commentated on it, and one thing to notice about Garunyan at the start, I mean, I think the first race he had about a 16-second lead, I believe it was. But the second race was about half of that. There was only an 8 to 7 second lead. So whether or not the other cars are getting wiser to how the cars work or different driving styles, so this race should be very interesting. I expect it to be a lot closer.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have put some good practice into it as well. Because obviously we at RWB, we've got a main Saturday league in ACC at the moment, 50 teams, 50 cars on track, but it's quite nice to see that we're also diving into race room leagues as well, and hopefully this will be a lot more popular as the weeks go by. I think we've got some more people watching it tonight, some more people into the YouTube channel, so hello to Cos, Judd, Jordan, welcome. We'll try and keep up with what you guys are saying tonight, and follow your comments as well. Little bit of background while we're at the Slovakia Ring. This ring was built between 2008 and 2009. Sam Bird's got the current track record on 5th September 2012. Not a lot of information, actually. It looks like a major feature of the circuit is a prominent hump on one of the straights that causes cars to fly with the front wheels off the ground. Only one car has flipped over entirely and crashed after going on the high-speed hump prior to the start of the 2014 season. The hump between turns 2 and 3 was rebuilt. Major events, they do the FIA GT Championship Blancpain Series, GT3 European Championship, GT1 World Championship, the FIA GT Series, and the Blancpain Series. So not a great well-known track, not a track which we drive on a lot, but it's nice to see him out on it today, and we should see some interesting fun stuff today. I believe we did a Formula FX League on this one as well, quite a few months ago now, so yeah, love it.
Interesting fact, Slovakia has more chateaus and castles per capita than any other country, and also has more than 6,000 caves.
6,000 caves.
6,000 caves.
Wow. That's interesting. We're just on board with RWB Mark Bean. Mark Bean's currently 2 minute 10 his last lap. Sitting pretty in third position. Helmet's just picked him actually in second position with a 2 minute 9.621. They're still 0.6 behind the leader in qualifying with 2 minutes 40 to go. Winch, have you driven a lot on this track yourself, or?
I haven't, to be fair. I mean, if it's not Formula One or ACC, Race Ring brings out the best in finding those obscure tracks. Not that Slovakia Ring is. It's quite a popular track, but I see some of the mini-league tracks and I think, I've never even heard of that, you know. There'll be a racetrack in the south of Kazakhstan. It'll be on Race Ring. So, yeah, it's nice to learn new ones, and interesting to watch this one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just on board with Vizar Gijokovic. Again, I'm not even going to try and pronounce their names. It's been my Achilles heel from the moment we started with all these fantastic drivers. Obviously, RWB, it's not just a UK-based team. It's international. It's all across the world. So we have all sorts of drivers from all sorts of different countries. Come and join us. Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. We're always racing, and for those of you new to the stream and new to watching in tonight, you're welcome to join us on our website, RWB International, Discord as well, and yeah, we'll catch up with you. Any questions again in the stream, just yeah, be sure to drop in. Shout out to Remco, Danger Dave, and yeah, Jordan, you love for wiki stats, they're the best things ever. So Winchy, 1 minute to go, qualifying. Looks like Helmet. Is he going to try? Is he going to try and get back out on the track? It looks like he might be trying to go for another one. He's on a personal best first sector, but oh no, personal best first sector, didn't improve on second and going around the third. With qualifying a minute to go, that'll be his attempt done. Let's just go down the pecking order. So we've got Guruman are in first, Helmet second, Visar in third, Mark Bean fourth, Jonasberg is fifth. Jonasberg is fourth now, Mark Bean fifth, Allwyn sixth. Don Holm Anderson in sixth now. That's changed on order. Oleska Arch, he's managed to get a seventh position, which is decent. Allwyn in eighth, Toadstool in ninth. We've got Marco in 10th at the moment. In the bag, Bud is 11th, Maddow 12th, Nico Perez in 13th, FX UK 14th, Gabsy 15th, Zvoni Burek in 16th, Sean Wright 17th, Jag Dice 18th, Malcolm Schneider in 19th, 20th, Alisi Borisova, 21st, Shane Ellis, 22nd, Jaquin Gutierrez Gill, 23rd is Justin Burley, 24th, Carlos Barros, and 25th, one of our resident commentators, RWB Taz. No time set by Taz. What do you think happened there, Winch?
I think he went to the toilet and overshot it, I think.
Or maybe his kids.
Yeah.
They all came in with bow and arrows and a string and went, Dad, that's it, you're not racing.
One person I'd like to see do well this week is Helmet. He had such, for the two races last week, he had such an unfortunate start to the first race, I think. He was knocked off, and in the second one he had a few mistakes that he could iron out, and he knows where he's putting it wrong. So he's one to watch this week, Helmet. Yeah,
he's been performing pretty strong in the ACC league as well. Not to mention RWB Debug, he's been doing pretty well himself, especially against Winch because he keeps overtaking Winch.
Who's Debug? I've never heard of him.
But yeah, no. Helmet. He's been quite strong in pace recently, and I think it must be all that SnowRunner he's playing. Have you actually seen that yet, Winch? SnowRunner.
I've watched a few Twitch clips on it, and I think I'm a bit confused by it. Really, I've not tried it or done anything like that. All I've done is watch his sort of a truck go up a mountain and thought, well, what's going on here then? So I'll probably watch a bit more and gather an opinion on it afterwards.
So if you ever want to be a hillbilly, or a mountain man. But to be fair, you're in a city and you'll never do it. Snow runner's a game to play, really. But as you said, it's going up a mountain, winching onto a tree, and telling your fine woman to bring you some ale while you do it. It's yeah, it seems to be taking over the club a little bit, to be honest. I've got it, so I shouldn't really take this because I've got it. So. But how are all our viewers doing today? Jesper Pedersen. Let's go, Nico Perez, aka Heyo. So we got some nice to see. We got some of the drivers' fans out there tonight watching the race. 19 of you now watching. I'm excited. I haven't actually commentated on one of these yet, so I don't know what to expect. It's fantastic to see another league going on at the moment, as well as the ACC one in RWB. So, yeah. Who's your money on, mate? Sorry, Winch.
Oh, sorry, you're talking to me. I thought you were talking to if I'm going with, it's got to be Garunyan. If he puts in a performance like last, then he's going to be unstoppable. But there's going to be a few people hot on his tail. But I don't know. I always like to pick an underdog. So let's say Helmet.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. So with 15 seconds to go, we're just going to go a bit silent and wait for the rest of the cars to warm up. Then they'll go on to the starting grid, and we've got a minute cool down on the starting grid, unless they all get there pretty quickly with their setups and their fuel loads, and then we'll be ready to go. Right, ladies and gents, so the cars are lined up. We've got 15 seconds of garage time left. We'll get on board with Gurunyan. There we go. We're going to say it. The lights are out and they're off to the start. Gurunyan currently in first place. Helmet, he's had a great start P1 and he's gotten away from Helmet, but Jonas Bergist is challenging Helmet at the moment for second place, and he takes second place. Helmet in a little bit of trouble, losing from second there. Visar down in fourth, although there seems to be a little bit of tapping, and there's been some love tapping there, and that's Jonas, which is unfortunately lost out there. Dominating start by our man in P1 with Helmet back into P2, Mark Bean in P3, and Jonas manages to keep that P4, all looking pretty clean at the moment, apart from that one slight shunt. Winch, over to you.
Yeah, not much going on in the second half of the field. I mean, looking at Taz's time delta, I'm not even sure if he went off the line. But you got Ellis there, and Taz is in the pit. Oh no, I wonder what happened there. Carlos Barros running there. Yeah, you got Mad Al in 10th position. You know, he had two solid races last week. I think it's P4 and P5 quite possibly. So he'll be definitely one to keep an eye on. But again, look, you got Shiriar Gurunyan. He's already got a 1.4 second lead with Helmet behind him and Bean. So yeah, the top three are really stonking away with it there.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you could zero and start. You couldn't really fault at all. It was good. It was clean. It was concise. He already started making a nice gap from Helmet. Helmet lost out to Jonas. Unfortunately, Jonas had a little bit of a tap from behind. I mean, this is WTCC. This is a WTCR race, sorry. There are going to be some love taps and there are going to be some shunts and scrapes. But yeah, currently Zimmerman in first, Helmet second, Mark Bean in third position as well in the Audi. He's following quite closely behind Helmet. Visar in fourth position currently. Behind him, you've got Jonas Bergist, giving him a little bit of a challenge. Moving down the field, Allwyn is challenging Dan Holm Anderson at the moment, looking to maybe go up on the inside. No, he's not going to this time. He's going to give himself a little bit of a pace. they've got 30 minutes on this first race. After this first race is done, they have another 30 minutes to go for the win again. So it's all to play for. It's not too serious. It's not too. They're not getting their heads down. So it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it, Winch? Because obviously when you do the hour races or hour and a half races, you're not pushing too much at the beginning. But these guys are only half an hour. They will want to get a move on. With Dan Holm quite late on the brakes there, quite early on the braking, sorry, and Allwyn almost went straight into the back of him.
Yeah, it goes to show you what emphasis there is in this league on the qualification at the start, you know, whether it's 20 minutes, I believe it is, maybe less, depending on today. But there's no reverse grid for that second race, so you start that first and second race in the exact same positions you qualified in. So it's all on that 20 minutes. And if you miss out on an opportunity on the first race, you've got it all to go for in the second race. So chances galore.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just watching there, Burek going a little bit wide on that one of those last corners, and but he's closed the gap up on Allwyn again. This is a little bit of a train for sixth position at the moment with Dan, Ulwick, Burek, Maddow, Gabsy, Bagbud, FX and Marco. They're all in this train for sixth position. It's absolutely great to watch right now. Some real close racing. We're focusing on these guys at the moment. P1, P2 and P3 seem to be quite spread out at the moment. Our leader is leading by 2.5 seconds and absolutely moving the gap out on RWB Helmet. Mark Bean, on the other hand, is now over a second behind Helmet. And this is one of the closest battles we've got out on the field at the moment, with Dan Holm Anderson currently leading the pack. But it looks like Allwyn's trying to desperately get past him, doesn't it, Winch?
Yeah, he's still got another 25 minutes left to do it, but I love watching these WTCR cars go around. It's not like GT3 where you've got to be so precise and, you know, extravagant with every move you do. I mean, if you want to knock into someone, just give them a little tap. You can let them know you're there. And again, if you're defending, put your elbows out. You know, you could be so much more aggressive with these than you can with most other cars.
Absolutely. That's the best quote I've ever heard you say. Just give him a little tap. I like that. Just give him a little love tap. Why not?
A little love tap. Yeah.
I guess that's you have got a good point, because we do see that in a lot of WTCR races in real life. Live on TV, we always see them scraping each other's bumpers and giving each other little taps here and there. Are the taps a little bit more severe in race room though, Winch? I mean, we see them do it in live races, and they seem to come off usually okay. But game physics, will that make it a little bit worse? Or
I think they're a lot more. You can get away with it in race room, should we say? I mean, ACC, you knock someone on the back end, and you know it's happened to me in previous races, and it might spin you round. It all depends on the speed, but you know, especially in these front-wheel drive WTCR cars, you can give someone a tap, you can catch a slide. They're a lot more forgiving than most other cars, and that's what I like about driving them, and that's why it's so exciting to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Not too sure what's happened at the back there. It seems to be a very slow-moving car, which is the car of Alesi Borisova. Looks like he's had a bit of front-end damage there, but he's currently running in 23rd position. Carlos Barros seems to have given up the race, and Taz, not too sure what happened with Taz at the start of that race. He didn't obviously get off a finish line, but that looks like looks like he's been in a bar fight in the club, and someone's caved in his nose. It's going very slow, as he's probably nurturing that to the pits, but the car seems to be passing by him well. This man in P1 is absolutely dominating again. 3.5 seconds now behind our man RWB Helmet. Mark Bean following behind Helmet now 2 seconds, so the gap is stretching even more. And then behind them, these are Kjovic is being pressured by Jonas Burgess, which got past Helmet at the beginning into P2. So Jonas will be desperately trying to get past this man and trying to reclaim some positions back and some points for the league. Dan Holm Anderson down into 6th position at the moment, following Burgess, or trying to, 4 seconds apart. Allwyn in 7th, and Mad Owl's just gone slightly wide there, and the pack continues to fight for now 7th position. Just a quick shout out to Taz. Unfortunately, it looks like the pedals stopped working in his car, so he wanted to get off the line, had to restart, and unfortunately, he's not in the race tonight. That's really unlucky, Taz. Sorry to hear that, buddy.
Well, I'm hoping that's only race 1, Taz. You've still got it all to play for. You know, you've got 20 minutes. Get that super glue out. Get the soldering iron out. Let's get it fixed. I want to see you in race 2, so.
Absolutely. Definitely. Shout out as well to Cos. Hello, mate. Welcome to the stream tonight. Welcome to the race. And we'll listen. We'll get you on board, Taz. But if you can do the second race, mate, by all means, try and get in there, my friend. Try and get in there. So, Winch, we're just watching this great battle at the moment, which is a battles from 7th position. Alwyn must have lost out a little bit because he's a bit further behind from Dan Holm Anderson in 6th now. But this is great fighting right here, isn't it?
Yeah, you got 7th all the way down to 12th there. You've got a pack of 5 or 6 cars. And it's anyone's game at this point. You know, after about 20-25 minutes, you're going to see the tyres sort of slowly start to drop off. Not massively, but they'll definitely have to change some of their driving styles. You know, perhaps their braking zones will be different. Perhaps the rear end will step out more than they want to. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch, especially when there's all to fight for. Yeah,
totally. And we're on board with Mad Out at the moment. Last lap wise, these guys give you a little bit of an idea, people watching the race. Our mid-pack field here, Mad Owl in 10th. He's currently lapping in the 2:11 to 2:13s. Our race leader is lapping 3 seconds quicker than that. So that gives you a bit of an idea about pace difference here. We're not too sure what kind of rocket fuel is in the back of this man's car, or what dimension he's come from, but it's like a Jake Moore, aka Speed Demon, all over again, really. This man's now still 4.5 second gap from Helmet. What does Helmet need to do to try and close this man down, apart from maybe mount a machine gun on his bonnet and start trying to gun him down?
I've been watching him for that past 5 minutes, Helmet, and that gap's been at 4 seconds for that entire 5 minutes, so he's definitely doing something right in terms of holding the pace. I mean, Garunyan's not a robot, although he may be driving like one. He's still prone to a mistake. So you've got Helmet 4 seconds behind him. As soon as Garunyan makes that mistake, Helmet will be there to pounce.
Which is good, because I guess in the back of Garunyan's mind as well, he'll know that Helmet is right there, and he'll know that Helmet's now 4 seconds still behind him. So yeah, I mean, these guys usually, these top contenders though, they're pretty chilled out, they're pretty calm, and they've got their heads screwed on. So it's very rare that they make mistakes, as I say that as we're watching Helmet. And this is where commentators' curses come in, really, I guess, when we're watching Helmet and say these guys don't make mistakes. Not that I want Helmet to mess up at all.
I mean, from the looks of it, he's taking sort of 3/10 of them out of a lap. But you know, you times that by how many laps they're going to do in this race, quite possibly 17, 18. You know, times that by 3/10, you're looking at a second every 3 laps. So, but Helmet is doing an absolute stellar job of holding that gap, and it still maintains 4.5 seconds. Oh, I say that, it's just popped into the 5s.
Yeah, I saw that as well. We're just on board with Toadstool, currently in 12th position for Team Spirit Sim Racing, RWB, and Sean Wright is behind him. Sean Wright from Canada, a second behind him at the moment in the VW. These guys seem to be having quite a nice little battle. Behind them, 24 seconds behind, is Aleska Arch. He's obviously, look, that car looks like it's been through the Somme. I'm not too sure what's happened there, but he's got Shane Ellis behind him as currently a second gap. And it looks like we missed quite a few little bits of argy-bargy at the start, and I'm wondering where some of this damage has come from, Winch. But yeah.
I mean, I look at that car and I'm quite proud of him for being in P17, because that looks like a write-off, looking at that.
doesn't look great, does it? It's had, although the car behind him doesn't look too great as well. Let's have a look at Jag Dice's car. Oh, maybe let's not look at Jag Dice's car as he's in the kitty litter. Is he? He's quite far in the kitty litter as well. Look at that. Goodness knows what happened there. Maybe he overshot that. Maybe he overshot his braking distance by quite a bit. But nice to see Jag rejoining the track and not giving up and going for it. Listen, we have had 5 cars retire from this race. We've had Alesa go. In the bag, Bud has unfortunately gone. He was in quite a good little position. Justin Burley's retired. Carlos Barros and RWB Taz due to some technical difficulties at the start. That's a shame. So we've now got 20 runners left for the first race. 17 minutes to go. Still looking quite comfortable in front at the moment, isn't he, Winch?
Yeah, definitely. He's taken another 8 tenths out of Helmet. So Helmet's just playing a game of cat and mouse, but from the looks of it, he's just going to be the mouse. Does that make sense? I don't think it does, but let's just go with it. But, he's trying to catch up, but he's not. As long as he keeps it consistent, like I say, you never know what's going to happen. But at the start of the race last time, the first race, Garunian had a good 16-second lead, and in the second race, it was a lot less. So whether or not that comes down to concentration levels or something different with the car, but it'll be interesting to see how this second half of the race pans out.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be, I do tell a lie, we've got 21 drivers in. Looks like Alesa was just getting some repairs done to his car. Of course, he was the one which we saw getting lapped earlier on. Shout out to this man. I mean, he's 3 laps down and he's still going strong, isn't he? He's not like he's not giving up, although I could have spoken too soon. No, he's just moving by for blue flags. So, yeah, good on him for staying with it. Absolutely love it. Going back to Dan Holm, this has been quite a nice sort of battle for a while now. Allwyn has now caught up to the rear of Dan Holm Anderson again. And I think he wants it. I think he's going to try and go for it this time. Is there any, Winch, is there any real difference between these cars and one better than the other, or are they all quite even Stevens?
I think in terms of power, they're quite even Stevens. It's when it comes down to the braking, the handling of the car. I mean, they're all front-wheel drive, so they are, you wouldn't expect it, but it's prone to the back end swinging out a bit. If you turn too sharply into a corner, there's no drive over the back, so you will end up losing that back end because you want to use that front end to rip you round into the corner. So it's all about keeping it smooth and keeping that line consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, gotcha. And a shout out to Scott Clark as well in the chat, and Dasbury Schwert. Yeah, do you know what? It might not have been the most cleanest of first laps by the sounds of things, but hey, we were looking at the front runners. We saw a few people come off at the back, but again, I guess this is WTCR. This is love tapping and kissing, and you're all going to cuddle at the end of it and call each other lovely names. I'm sure. This is quite important though. Allwyn, is he going to try and go for a lunge? Is he going to try and go for the inside? And is he going to go on the outside? He's going to try it, and I think he's pulled it off. That's an absolutely cracking move there from RWB Allwyn. Went down the straight, had the drive on him, and I think Dan's going to fight back though. He's not done yet, but Allwyn, if he manages to keep his cool, has sealed the deal on that 6th position, and that was well fought and well earned, that space, Winch.
Yeah, that's fantastic driving, and Holm Anderson's now under pressure from the cars behind him. So, that was very smart driving from Anderson as well, knowing when to concede that position. Because if he was to go defensive and lose, half a second or a second there, he'll be right within the mix in those cars behind him. So good driving from Anderson as well as all.
Absolutely. And Anderson again, Gabsy must have for brakes of power on that car, as he's whether Anderson has an issue or not, or a bit of dirt somewhere, but Gabsy and Mad Owl now, they're like a pack of tigers that want to catch a prey as well. Gabsy looks a lot sharper and cleaner on those corner exits and going into the corners, but for the time being, Dan Holm Anderson keeping 7th position, getting a bit of space from Gabsy, but Gabsy's got Mad Owl to contend with, and I've just seen Jag Dice in the Honda in the rear. I think he must have had a spin-off, been lapped, and that is his race done for tonight. So we are down to 20 drivers again. Just following on to Marco now, someone who also has some pretty consistent clean racing, and he's got our resident FX, our wizardry, the whiz kid who does all the electronics, all the goody whiz kid weird stuff in RWB. He's right on the back of FX, so this could be quite a nice little race to follow as well. Not too sure what happened to Jag, but if he does come into YouTube, or someone does know, give us a shout. We'd love to hear from him.
Yeah, big shout out to FX. Currently looking like the aggressor, but big shout out to FX because he's the reason why you're seeing these pictures you're seeing now. So thank you, FX.
Yes, thank you, FX. Even though you drive a gutless Audi in real life, thank you. We forgive you. We forgive you for those horrible turboed V6s. Anyway, moving on. I don't know if he can hear that or not. He probably can in the side of his earpieces. But moving on from that, I mean, FX is still having a lovely little fight here, and he just needs. I mean, Winch, you're a quick competitive driver here, and if there's one thing I realised when I rejoined RWB back in December time, if there's one thing I realised, one way you've got to get into those kind of positions and up there nowadays is being a little bit more aggressive, like going for those spaces that would not normally be there, or going for those opportunities if they're left open. And I noticed sometimes that's how the crashes happen in the top, when you're looking at the guys in the top 10 positions, because they're all hungry for the overtakes, and they're all hungry for position. So would you say, is that safe to say that you have to be a lot more aggressive if you want to get into those higher positions, like take those opportunities and things like that?
Yeah, there's loads of ways you can do it. You can be aggressive, you can be smart. I mean, you don't have to be next to the guy in front of you to put an overtake on him. You can just put your nose out and make him think as if you're going for an overtake. That way he's going to leave you the gap and come off his line, and you've got a better corner exit on the next off the next straight. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways, but again, another way of being quick is just putting in 1,000 hours and starting in pole position like Garunyan. He doesn't have to be aggressive at all. You know, he's just got to chase the horizon.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at FX, he might have the opportunity here to go for an overtake on Marco. They're side by side coming into what I believe is the first corner, and they've had a little bit of kissy. Marco just reached his hand out and said, "Take me, FX. I want to go around this corner with you." And they're still side by side at the moment. It's fantastic racing to see what is going to happen here. And Marco just pulls it out on FX, and I'm sure FX will not be happy with that. So, Winch, that's one of the examples I mean. Was FX maybe too sensible there? Was he a bit maybe too cautious? Like, I don't want to get clipped. Should he have been a bit more aggressive into that, or?
It's very hard to watch without see without a replay. I mean, from my point of view initially, maybe Marco turned in a bit early, FX maybe a bit late, and you've got a racing incident, but there was a lot of space there. The coming together wasn't needed. FX may be saying, well, I should have that position back, but again, WTCR, Robbins Racing, keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jordan in chat, do you think FX set up the Hyundai to have terrible understeer just to feel at home? Shots fired. There we go. Shots fired. It's always cool when you watch someone setting up a move that will come to fruition a few turns later. That was from Scott Clark in the chat. And Scott Clark says you have to get your elbows out and use your shoulders. I mean, it is an interesting one, because what I found was I was such a clean racer before coming back in December. I used to literally just not go for the attack. So I would be happy to sit behind the car all race as long as I'm in a decent position or a decent enough position mid-pack, I'd just sit behind the car or race. But lately, in the last month or so, I've kind of tuned into the fact that if you leave a gap open, you've got to go for it, haven't you? You've just got to seize the opportunity at the moment, because if you don't do it, someone behind you will. Just on board with Jonas Bergist and Visar. This is fantastic for 4th position. Now, I'm not sure whether this is Jonas getting past Visar or Visar attacking Jonas. Looking at the lap times, it could be Visar attacking Jonas, but then Jonas is pulling out a little bit of time off Visar now. So, fantastic race in there. I'm not too sure whether... I think Jonas has taken the position from Visar and Winch, because he was behind him at one stage.
Yeah, that's RWB Keke, I think he's formerly known as in the Discord group, and you got Visar, RWB Visar behind him. But Jonas last week had an absolutely fantastic couple of races. He was one to watch. I think he was just off the podium on both races. So he's one to keep an eye on. But just going back to what you said a minute ago, Debug, it is so easy to just, if there's a guy in front of you that's only 0.2 a lap slower, it's so hard to get past him, and you think, well, where's the gap? How do I find the gap? And you're following them, and you think, well, it's just easier to sit behind them. Yeah, it's one of those really weird things. You just got to get it past, and it's confidence in the car as well. Once you're confident and you've got a good feeling car, and you know that you can go for certain positions and the car will keep stable, I think that's a massive part of it as well. And Jonas is now pulling out, and he's got a Mark Bean to catch up now and a helmet. But I don't think with 6 minutes to go, he's going to have much luck catching these the two in front up for his second position back. Just a quick one as well, Gabsy. 6th position at the moment. He's got Alwyn and Mad Al behind him. So Gabsy was following Dan, and he got past him. And Alwyn and Mad were following Dan, and they got past. And now we've got this great train, which was fighting for 7th position. They're now fighting for 6th position. And Alwyn's all over the back of Gabsy, and Mad Al's all over the back of Alwyn. So it'll be quite nice to continue to follow these guys and see what happens to them in the next few stages of this race. But I think it's clear to say at the moment that we all know who's going to win this race, unless his tyres fall off and his car blows up, or he flips on that bump that was mentioned on the track. Yeah, you've got that storm going from 6th to 8th, but you've also got the fight for P10 between Marco and FX. FX has been right on his tail for the last sort of 10 minutes, I'd have thought. So these two are still going at each other.
Come on, FX, just do it. You know you can. Just feel the force, FX. I know it's difficult to not be relying on 4-wheel drive for once, but feel the force. Come. These two are driving an absolutely fantastic race. Marco's pretty consistent, and it is difficult to get past Marco, but as you said, maybe a little bit of pressure. FX can keep that pressure on Marco, and he might make a mistake in the next few corners as that's one of the cars being lapped. Not too sure which one that is. It could be the car of... I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend to guess, but that's probably helped Marco out by the looks of things, and giving FX a little bit of a giving Marco a bit of a break from FX. Just to mention as well, 13th and 14th, a nice little battle between Malcolm Schneider and Sean Wright here. Sean Wright's been slowly coming up the gaps, and he must be pretty happy with that at the moment. In the VW, he's right on the back of Schneider, so see how this one unfolds as well. But we've only got 18 cars on grid at the moment, Winch.
Wow. I thought it was a lot more than that. It gives them good track position, a lot more space to race in. There's no back marker, so at least there's something to fight for.
Absolutely, and it's certainly a shame. Speaking of which, Malcolm Schneider is just about to go up on a Toadstool, who seems to have had an off, and that's kind of given Sean Wright a bit of a hard challenge, as he was right behind Schneider, and yeah, not too sure what's happened to Toadstool. But look, let's follow on with Gurunayan. It's Gurunayan. I'm just going to let you say it, Winch. But this guy, he's now 9 seconds in front of Helmet. Their lap times have not really dropped below 2-minute 10s, these guys in front. And they're absolutely dominating the race. Pretty clean start and pretty effortless race from this guy so far. Helmet currently in P2 in the Hyundai. Certainly a choice of car for the top 1 and 2. He's had a pretty effortless race so far as well, with 2 minutes to go. Mark Bean in P3. Nice to see the Audi there. In P3, currently following Helmet as well. He's doing a great job actually of keeping the gap close to Helmet. Visar, he's still under pressure from Jonas Bergist. In actual fact, he's gotten back past Jonas. So that's a little turn from the turn for the books. That was Jonas in front of Visar, and now Visar's back in front. So nice race in there, and he's going to be pretty happy about too. And Gabsy, for this battle between 6th, 7th, and 8th, is still got that pretty much covered. But hey, let's also look at Marco and Helmet. These two have been scrapping like a pair of girls over high heel boots so far. They're still on it, and look at the difference between braking. FX is so much quicker on the brake, or so much sharper on the brakes, which is probably leading. He's then getting a bit aggressive in the corners and going a bit wide. What would you do if you were in FX's shoes right now, Winch?
Lick the stamp.
What does that mean, lick the stamp?
Lick the stamp and send it. You've got to... it's the last minute now, coming up to the last lap, if not the last 2 laps of the race. He's definitely got the pace. You watch him over the last 10 minutes, you can't stay behind someone like that without having the pace. And Marco must be doing a fantastic job of defending, but there comes a point where we can't defend anymore, and FX really just has to find the gap, put his nose in there, and maybe they come to a nice little love tap again, but hopefully this time he comes better off for his sake.
I think that's the thing as well. When you're driving behind someone, you kind of start learning a little bit more about where their weakness is and where they're doing. But yeah, I like that saying, lick the stamp and send it. That is bloody brilliant. That's going to be my favourite quote now. Lick the stamp and send it. That's awesome. But it's so true. When you're following behind someone for that long, yeah, you've got to go for it, haven't you? Anyway, listen, the race is about to end, and I hope we haven't missed the finish line. I don't think we have. This man, he's absolutely been untouchable from the minute he from the minute he started earlier on. He's just lapping someone again. Not too sure where his position is on track, but I think it's here we go. So P1, Guruman taking the lead. Great racing so far from this chap. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, great show from him. P2, we've got Helmet. P3, Mark Bean. Both solid drives from these two. And Visar has absolutely done a great job of holding Jonas back and taking P4 as well. He'll be pleased with that. As he just goes through the start-finish line, and Jonas right behind him. Gabsy in P6, he's also managed to keep himself from these two tigers, all in a mad owl in P6 and P7th. Mark Bean, not too sure what's just happened there. Oh no, sorry, that's Mark Bean finishing. Dan Holm Anderson in 8th position, Marco 9th position, Helmet and Marco. Marco managed to keep his position. So that was fantastic as well. Great racing from these guys. Great racing from all of them. It looks like only 17 people finished that race, which was a real shame to see. 17 out of 25. So I'm sure there'll be some questions being asked after the start of that race, because it sounded like they had a lot of argy-bargy, Winch. So might be interesting to follow the middle pack at the start of that. At the start of the second one, sorry.
Yeah, the middle pack is where the Constantina is the most effective on the first first corner as well. But I mean, Marco and FX put on a great show that race.
Absolutely.
You could have held the entire race just watching them two. So well done to them.
Yeah, great racing, great respect as well. I think it's clear to say that you and me probably would have done something silly, or maybe just done a bit of French. Right, ladies and gents, we've got 2 minutes 50 seconds to go until the start of the second half an hour race. Get yourself a cup of tea, get yourself a beer. I'm going to get myself a beer now, and I'm going to leave you with Winch unless he wants to go and get himself a beer or a Nancy drink. But yeah, we'll be back. Sorry, what was that, mate?
My beer's already here. You go get yours. I've got it covered.
Yes. Right, we'll be. I'll see you back in 2 minutes 20, people.
Right, chat. We've seen race 1. What do we reckon about race 2? I want to see some predictions. Scott, what's your prediction? Taz? Jordan? Scores on the door. Getting a good look of FX UK here on his warm-up. The car looks very different. So they do get a 3-minute warm-up phase where they can go around the track as many times as they can within 3 minutes, and then they get a nice 1-minute warm-up or break after this while they sit on the grid preparing for their race.
Right, I'm back. Beer, Winch, beer.
No, you did ask if I had a pansy drink, so that only leads me to ask what drink have you got?
Oh, some tiny rebel keg from my Phillips Perfect Draft beer machine. Oh yes.
You have your own beer machine, a keg.
Yeah, it's for those of you watching, it's a Phillips Perfect Draft. You basically put I can't remember how many litres keg it is, but you put it in the Perfect Draft and it chills it to 3 degrees, and then you've got a little tap which you pour it like a proper beer tap, and yeah, you put a glass under, and yeah, you have perfect chilled beer.
Writing this down for my Christmas card list. 1 minute.
Perfect Draft, people. So they've done their little warm up. They've had their little break, and it'll be interesting to see how many people we have ready to ready to start round 2. Beer for anyone, Fanny water. He has referred to that as. Well, God. Oh dear, we love it. So we're on board. The lights are red and they're going green, green, green. Any moment now. Are we going to go? Yes, we are away. Great start again from his machine. Helmet dropping back, and Mark Bean taking full advantage of that. But Helmet's had another poor start and Bean into second place. Helmet down into 4th place now as Jonas overtakes. Let's just have a look in 8th, 9th position. Dan Holm Henderson there. And they're all going to be going tight and rubbing each other's bodywork. Is there any dramas? Is there any dramas going into the first corner? There doesn't seem to be too many dramas. Looking back at the grid, it seems pretty, apart from Sean Wright. Oh, that's such a shame. Sean Wright's in the gravel. Not too sure what happened, whether he had any contact with anyone. Justin Burley in 19th position. Guruman, he's got Mark Bean right behind him. Can Bean do anything to challenge him? But Helmet wants his position back. He's like, Bean, what are you doing? You overtaken me. I want it back. So going into the next corner, Bean and Helmet look so on the rails compared to the guys behind them. Jonas, Visar and Alwyn all battling for 4th, 5th and 6th position. Gabsy currently in 7th position, also behind. Dan Holm Anderson in 8th position. Maddow 9th position. Burek in 10th position. Looks like he's slightly moving away from 9th, but right behind him is our little FX, which has been giving us some great racing. And guess what? It could be an opposite this time, because FX is in front of Marco. So we'll see if these guys give us some spectacular stuff as well. That was a pretty sound start compared to last time. We've got 19 racers in this one. Sean Wright's still on track, but it looks like Oleskander Arch didn't start the race, which is a shame. Winch, sorry, let's just have a look at this. Visar is doing a bit of bodywork rubbing with Jonas, and I'm not too sure Jonas is going to be too happy about it at all. But I don't think he's got any choice. I think Visar was doing what WTCR is all about, and saying, if you give me the space, son, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to give you a little bit of rubbing as well. So, and Alwyn is now looking pretty at challenging for Jonas as well. Winch, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, this race is going to be picked to be the prime one of the night, I think. I mean, you watch Helmet on that start. Didn't get to the best of starts. He ended up P4 coming down that back straight, but managed to just edged Bergqvist on the brakes and get the inside line. Again, putting his elbows out, pushing him to one side. And he got that line, and subsequently, you know, Vizar's managed to overtake Bergqvist. It's cost Bergqvist a position. But let's see what Bean can do against Garunyan, because last time he never had the chance, but this race, it's all to fight for.
Absolutely, and just looking down again, there's some great body rubbing with Dan Holm Anderson, Gabsy, Maddow, Burek. These guys are all racing and racing hard, and it could all end in tears if these guys carry on doing how they are. It's absolutely fantastic to see them going panel to panel, body to body with each other. And, you know, Gabsy seems to be taking advantage of that in 8th position and looking pretty strong at the moment, moving slightly down as well. I'm not too sure what's happened to FX, but he's now down in 17th position. And Marco is in 11th with Burek in 10th and Maddow in front in 9th. So it looks like, unfortunately, there's been a bit of contact or a mistake from FX, and he's now down in 17th, which is such a shame. But hey, look. This won't please Mark Bean. Helmet has managed to get past him and take P2 again. So, shame we missed what happened there. But, yeah, wow. Wow, Helmet, what a race this is going to be already in the second half.
Yeah, what a start. If I'm looking at the timings there, Bean was only 1 second behind Garunyan, and he's now 2.5, so I can only put it down to being a mistake from Bean, quite possibly, because we never saw any fight or anything like that. Perhaps there was a nice overtake, but more than likely a mistake.
Yeah, no, definitely. And a mistake that Bean seems to want to make up for, because look at that. Slightly better on the brakes with that Audi, and he means business. Bean wants that position back, and I think he's going to do whatever it takes to get that position back from Helmet. These two are absolutely neck and neck, pushing those cars to the limit. They've got 25 minutes to go, but I don't think Bean gives an absolute iota here. He's now got the straight line. He's catching. He's gaining some more, but he's not going to make it this time. He sits back on that one, but goes in for the tighter line on the first corner. And it's all about traction out of the corner and whether Helmet can keep him fended off. They're going for a nice sweeping right hand in a minute. If you take this right hander perfect, you can keep a lot of speed in that car, and that'll give you the advantage over braking in the next corner. But these guys going down this next long straight, it's whoever can brake better really and take the corner on this next right hander, which is like a parabolic ride, I believe. But yeah, great racing from these guys, and even more better racing down the pack as well by the looks of things.
Yeah, great racing here from Bean, and He really looks like he means business. But D-Bag, I don't know if you're the same as me, but when you make a mistake, you really want to capitalise on getting that position back, and you're angry at yourself, and you drive like...
Oh, I wouldn't say I'm angry. I mean, I get angry at a lot of things in life, Winch, you know. I get angry when I spill my beer. I get angry when I don't drink my cup of tea. I get angry when I drink my cup of tea and then I go for another sip and it's empty. But I'm not too sure I get angry over that anymore.
I think that means you've got all in your cup.
Either that or I'm too old now, mate. How old are you, Winch?
It's a good question. The candles definitely cost more than the cake, but I'm still only 29.
29 years old. Do you know Cos is celebrating his 90th birthday this year? 90th. That's amazing.
Is he only 90?
we shouldn't be horrible to our Cos, bless him. He's our lovely Cos. Listen, going down the field, as much as I want to keep watching Mark Bean and Helmet, these guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Jonas has still got Allwyn right on his tail as well. So we've got a battle for second. We've got a battle for fourth, this could be quite tasty in a second if Allwyn can get the legs on him. 0.25, 0.24, 0.23. He's gaining. Will he go for a dive? No, not this time. But we've also got Gabsy is being followed by Dan Holm Anderson, Mad Owl, Burek, Marco and Toadstool. Toadstool very close to Marco. In fact, he's so close to Marco, I think he might be challenging. This is a sweeping right-hand corner I was talking about. It's really technical, and if you get this right, you can carry a lot of speed down this next straight. It'll be interesting to see how Toadstool comes up to this, going over this little crest. You then got a heavy break into this nice right-hander, and look at that! Oh, I had a feeling he was going to go for that, but he just manages to keep it in touch. And look at this racing from this pack. Absolutely fantastic and clean. Well done, lads. You're providing some great racing tonight. That was absolutely faultless.
Yeah, the fact that they haven't made contact there is fantastic. You know, there's a point there where you could go 3, maybe even 4 wide. But, you know, they're going Noah's Ark style, 2x2, and it's fantastic to...
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The person who gained from that was Toadstool. Toadstool now into 10th position, and Marco is now challenging Dan Holm Anderson. So that's also great to see. What's not so great to see is we've got some more DQ quits. We've got some Malcolm Schneider is unfortunately retired. Sean Wright's retired, and obviously we've got Old as well. Justin Burley is currently in 17th position. Jag Dice in 16th. FX UK, he's making his way back up. He was in 17th. He's up into 15th again. In the bag, Bud, is racing the only Alpha, I think that is on the track, Nico Perez. Why is that the only Alpha on the track? I thought we'd have some more, Winch.
Well, you say that. We were watching FX in the warm-up before this, the 3-minute warm-up. And it said FX, but it was an Alpha. And I wasn't sure he was driving Alpha in the last race, so whether or not it's a glitch. But yeah, right. It's the only Alpha I've seen.
Right, we might be seeing in a minute why there's no Alphas, because Nico Perez has got some great old legs on it. And is he going to brake heavy? No, he's not going to brake heavy. And just Nico Perez seems to keep in the bag, Bud, behind again. Meanwhile, guess what? Gurman, 4.7 seconds ahead of Helmet. Helmet and Bean racing their hearts out here for second place as well. Absolutely insane. Some great racing here. Visar and Jonas there's a little bit more of a gap now between 4th and 5th. However, Gabsy is still on the back of Allwyn, wanting that position. And also, it seems to spread out a little bit more in the back as well. You've got Burek now challenging Nico's challenging Burek in 13th, and on Bagbud is doing the same. And Bagbud has just taken it. Looks like Perez has had an off, and FX has taken advantage of it, as FX is now into 14th again. So yeah, great racing all around. I say great racing all around. That, ladies and gentlemen, is FX in the kitty litter.
No positions lost, no harm done. He's just going to have a lot of catch up to do.
Was there no positions lost? No, I don't think there was. That's a shame, though. That is a shame. So,
a big 10-second gap, though, he's lost from in the bag, bud. So, this is a true test of FX's pace. Let's see how quick he can claw that 10 seconds back.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see that time hopefully come down now. They've got 19 minutes to go. FX is 10.2 seconds. Remember that, people. 10.2 seconds. We'll see how he does in the next 5-10 minutes. In the meantime, great battle here in 5th place, but I'm sorry, we got to keep an eye on these two because Winch, they're still going. They're still going. It reminds me of a race between me and Zerax last week in Brands Hatch when we were racing for about 30 minutes. I mean, it's a mind game, really. If Bean can stick on the back of Helmet just needs to make sure he doesn't make one single mistake. So it is mind games, really, isn't it, mate?
That is a massive mind game. Not only is it the pressure mind game from Helmet, you know, he's going to always see Bean in his mirror, but Bean, he's going to be getting as close as he can in every braking point. He's going to be there like he's stuck like glue. But one thing to mention is you think, how much is the slipstream helping here? If Bean was to get past Helmet, how quick would it be for Helmet to get past Bean again with a slipstream, you know? Is it just the slipstream helping Bean?
Yeah, just seeing Helmet went a little bit wide there, maybe. But Bean's taking full advantage and going on the grass on those corners. Is that going to be damaging Bean's tyres? As Bean is so close to Helmet this time, and he might be going on the inside. He is taking great racing there. Bean went for a cheeky look on that inside, but I think he knew that Helmet was going to close the door, and respectfully he backed off, and that probably saved Helmet being spun around there, and that just saved them probably both positions there, to be fair.
Yeah, that's very good driving from Bean. You know, if they have a little tap there, it costs them half a second, and that's half a second more that Garunyan's going to be further up the field.
Yeah, I don't think those two care where Garunyan is at the moment. I think they know that they're fighting for second place regardless.
I don't even know they think Garunyan's still racing. I think this is a P1.
Do you know what? I used to think that as well. If ever I was racing against the real big guys, which were like 10, 20 seconds ahead, in my mind, I'd always think I'm winning.
Yeah, definitely. You set your own targets at the start of the race, don't you? My target, especially for the ACC leagues, is just get P10 or higher, hopefully, and you'll do all right. By the end of the league, you'll be fine. So you've got so many aliens in these leagues and ACC leagues. You take them out of the equation and you still do well. You know, you've got a target for the next race as well.
Yeah, no, that's right. But as you said before, you know, one nice thing about RWB and racing with the guys in RWB is everyone always helps each other out and sharing setups, sharing track knowledge. Even yourself, Winch, you're a driver coach, so you're happy to go on track with people and give them some tips and advice on how to spin off when you pass debug and then try and retake debug's position. So
I don't drive a coach.
Are you not a driver coach anymore?
No, I drive a bus. Oh,
for God's sake. For God's sake, I walked into that one. Jesus. Scott Clark, just on YouTube. It's interesting that it shows my actual name rather than my Motormouth V8. I have to check that out. Yeah, okay. I thought, Scott, I thought that was interesting then. These got Jonas Burgess, Allwyn and Gabsy are all still fighting for. So we got two close fights here. We got the fight for second between Helmet and Mark, and the fight for fifth between Jonas, Allwyn and Gabsy, and also a fight for 10th between Dan Home and Marco. What time did we say for FX? Did we say 10.2?
10.2, yeah.
Now 9.6. So maybe not enough to close that gap down to Bagbuck.
Yeah, completely different race compared to the first. Compared to the first race, he's just been unlucky. And
Yeah.
sometimes you get that, don't you? Fantastic race, and then the next race you get riddled. But that's the way it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. A shout out to Tiger in the chat as well. Tiger, Beer, Das. Nice to have you guys in, and nice to have you guys watching. We are 14 minutes left of a race, and we're on board with Bergist, all in behind him, and Gabsy, all fighting for P5 championship points, valuable championship points to this RTC WTCR18 league. I thought Gabsy was going to go for a look then, but he hasn't this time. He hasn't this time, but Alwyn's gone for a look, and Alwyn's gotten in front, and that's Jonas on the inside trying to keep that gap, but he's got Gabsy, which seems to have a better drive as well, especially into that corner. Gabsy and Jonas side by side there, and Gabsy's got the inside line, and can he keep it? No, they're rubbing body panels. They're giving each other a little scrape and a kiss. Both Cupras. And Jonas just pulls out in front of Gabsy. But again, is Gabsy going to have to drive out of that corner? Wow, this is great driving here from these two.
Yeah, that was a brilliant watch. Yeah, Jonas just went a bit, maybe 5 meters. Oh no, we've seen Jonas here spinning out. But just prior to that, we saw Jonas go about 5 meters deep into his braking zone. And that then allowed... I can't remember who it was, just on the inside, and Gabsy managed to almost get the position. But during all of that, we saw Vizar spin out as well.
Did we?
Or these two, or three of them pass him. So unfortunate there for Keke. Just caught the grass, tried to turn into it, the back end come out. And again, it just goes to show just how easy it is for these back ends on these front wheel drives to spin out.
Yeah, no, that's such a shame. That is such a shame. This man's a machine in P1. Just a quick question from Tiger. How does the point system work? So you've got two 30-minute races, Tiger. It's 20 points for P1, down to P2 17 points, P3 15 points, and then you get no points from P18 onwards. So obviously, the way Guruman's going, he's going to be 80 points at the end of this stint. So yeah, that's absolutely that's such a dominating lead already into this league. That's hard to fight and battle, really. It looks like Helmet has managed to get a bit of pressure off him from Mark Bean. I say that Mark Bean is still a second. Allwyn's in fourth and Gabsy's fifth. So that little spin-off has given these two a great race position, especially Gabsy in fifth. He'll be really pleased with that. And also Jonas Berg is now in 12th. FX is in 13th. And you know what? FX, bless his heart, I don't think he's going to be able to claw back any more positions in this race. I could be wrong, but I think he's pretty much eked out everything he's got in that little car today.
Yeah, you say that. It was 4.5 seconds just after he spun, so he's managed to claw back at least a second, but it'd be nice to see that go up and up. I mean, there's another second taken off, so quite possibly Bergqvist is having a bit of a mad 5 minutes.
Mad 5 minutes, or he's just getting himself composed again. I mean, Bagbud right on the back of Marco now, so that's interesting to see what's going on there. So currently, the guys, the race leaders on lap 10, Helmet and Bean are still fighting. They've been fighting all race. 20 minutes this has been going on for. Back and forth. Less than a second between these guys. I'm sure Helmet's probably regretting taking Mark Bean over now, because Bean's just going to stick with him like fly on shit paper, to be honest. And just a note as well, Gabsy could be taking a 4th place win. Winch, anyone sticking out for you for driver of the race?
It's just like last week. It's almost, when you got close racing like this, it's almost an impossible question to ask. you could choose anything from P4 down to P10, and you'd be right with every single one you get. Again, I'm going to say to the chat, have you got any votes? But give me a couple of minutes and I'll come back to you with an answer there, D-Bag.
Nice. So there you go, people. Yeah, for a lot of you, ladies and gents, who've been watching the chat tonight and watching the great racing we've got in RWB on this WTCR18 championship. Who's really shone out to you tonight, guys? Gabsy is going to go from a position. We've just seen Allwyn go really, really wide. These two fighting it out again. Gabsy's going to try and go for the inside drive, and that's a great move there. He's going to have a right hand line. Will he respect it? Will he give him any gaps? There's going to be no gaps given for these two. Again, fantastic racing between these guys, side by side. But no, yeah, absolutely. Give us your views in chat. Who you think should be getting driver of the match? For me, it's I was going to say FX, but he's let us down. He's let us down, Winch.
Such a disappointment.
And we said thank you to him for hosting these streams.
But I tell you what, I think my vote goes to whoever gets P4 in this, just to spice things up a bit, because this could be anyone's. So whoever gets P4, I mean, Gabsy and Allwyn were fantastic in the last race as well, similar positions, but whoever gets P4 in this gets my vote.
Who got it last week, Winch?
I can't really remember, if I'm brutally honest. I think it went down to a mixed vote.
As Taz is watching, you should remember. Come on, we're asking Taz now. Allwyn got it, so Allwyn can't get it again. Gabsy, look at that. Gabsy seems a bit more confident into those corners at the moment, Winch. He seems he's just a little bit more confident. He's got a little bit more. He's a little bit more agile than Allwyn. I think if he keeps this on, he might grab himself fourth. I mean, I would have to say, I would have to say maybe Gabsy gets driver of the match this race, as he's been in the last two, this race and the race before. He's been up there challenging for positions the entire race. It's never really stopped for him. For this entire hour, he's been racing people.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in disagreement with you there. He's had a fantastic couple of races. And this race, it looks like he's got ultimate pace. I mean, the way he's just nosing his nose out, just to make sure Allwyn's always looking at him in the mirror. Oh, no, has Gabsy got past Allwyn?
I'm not sure who that is. No. That was another car, which is locked.
That was it. That really threw me off. Oh, we're on the lead car. I see what you mean. So with Allwyn at the moment. Oh, that really threw me off. Oh, to skip to beat. Gabsy definitely would get my vote. If Allwyn got it last week, it's fair to say Gabsy definitely gets it this week, because he's put in a stellar performance yet again. Last week he was just as good. This week he's outshone.
Tiger in chat, which position did Toadstool start in? Do you know what? I can't remember where Toad started actually. I think he was quite far down in the qualifying.
I think Toad definitely I think he should win driver of this race at least, and perhaps Gabsy win driver of the day. But Toad's definitely put in an absolute brilliant performance in this race, because he avoided all of that calamity at the start. He was at P10, I think, when they were fighting in that four-way pack we were watching, and he's managed to climb back 2 positions higher than that. So brilliant performance from Toadstool. Yeah,
no, very, very true actually, very true. But hey, look at this. Gabsy has got a great drive again going into that first corner. He took that just right. And, Allwyn's just positioning his car perfectly to avoid any crazy starts or crazy jumps for a position. Great driving from these two. Meanwhile, in front, as predicted, Guruman's 8.99 seconds ahead of Helmet now. And Mark Bean was over a second to Helmet, but he's now closed that gap down again, and he's now under a second from Helmet again. Closest battle on track at the moment, people, is this one between Allwyn and Gabsy. and one which I think we should stick with for a little bit longer. Although Toadstool has got Dan Holm Anderson right on his chuffer, so maybe Toadstool's gotten taken advantage of some offs, and Dan wants his 8th position. And I'm just being told that Allwyn didn't get driver of the match last week, driver for day. So maybe Allwyn does get driver of the day this week. Win.
Tell you what, they got 4 minutes to fight it out, because he's defending like I've never seen before. Because Gabsy's really put some almost half lunges in, where Allwyn will be looking in his mirror, and for him, every second he's not looking in his mirror. He's looking in his mirror. He's not looking at the track. So fair play to Allwyn, because he's been consistent for this race.
No, absolutely. So what are we saying? Are we saying 4th position gets driver of the match? That spices it up, doesn't it?
I'd agree with that.
Just as we say that, Gabsy looking. No, he's not going to get it on this first corner, but he's so much tighter into that corner, and again, Allwyn just sitting back. But you know what? Allwyn's obviously lacking in a bit of pace here. This is worth noting. I know we've got 3 minutes left, and only 3 minutes left, but Allwyn's 13.5 seconds. 13.5 seconds from 3rd position. Behind Gabsy is Visar and Mad Owl, and Visar is only a 1.5 seconds from Gabsy. So, so we're saying 4th place gets it. At this rate, Visar is going. Visar's almost lapping a second quicker than these two in front. So Allwyn and Gabsy might find themselves in a bit of trouble in a minute. Not to put a spin on things or to disappoint their day, but if these two aren't careful, they could find themselves losing out.
Yeah, with 2 laps left.
We've got
Gabsy's got past him. Oh no, Allwyn run wide. Gabsy's allowed up the inside. So that's all to play for now. And Visar's going to be right up Allwyn's bum as well. So it'll be interesting to watch.
I think Visar actually tried going for the inside lunge then, and had to quickly break out of it and think better of it. But this will be interesting now to see how far ahead Gabsy can get from Allwyn before I think, unfortunately, Visar's going to go and take Allwyn. And it's all to play with on how much distance Gabsy can ooze it out. But look at Visar on those corners, so much closer. I hate to do this, but in P2 as well, it looks like Bean has just stepped it up a drive and thought, you know what, I've got 1.5 minutes to get this done, and he's now right on the back of Helmet, coming out that first corner, coming into the second and third. This is getting really tasty now. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. This might be the last lap, actually, come to think of it. We'll have a look at where Guruman is. Where is he? He's got two left. I think he's got around 5 corners left until he's... we might still have a lap of racing to go after this. But looking at it, I think... Allwyn's retired. Allwyn's retired. Oh no, that's absolutely devastating. Allwyn's retired, which means Visar's now 1.5 seconds away from Gabs. We've still got. I think we're going to have a lap left to go.
I just want to mention Mad Owl as well, because where we saw Allwyn, Gabsy, and Visar fighting, Mad Owl was 0.5 seconds behind Visar, so we're keeping up with Visar. And if Allwyn was to keep defending against Visar, that would have brought Mad Owl into play. So that would have been a fantastic battle to watch. So unfortunate there, Allwyn.
Hey, look, Bean is side by side a Helmet coming into his corners. Look at this racing. Bean wants P2. He wants it badly. He knows he's only got a few corners. Has he only got a few corners to go? Where is he now? I think we've still got 1 more lap to go. So I think Guruman's on his next lap, I think he's egged one out. No, this is the last lap. This is the last straight. Gurman has done it. P1 for this man. He has won both races. Helmet is under pressure from Mark Bean. Mark Bean has just lost out to P2. That was a close race in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes to these guys. So Helmet and Mark Bean, P2 and P3. Gabsy, what a race, P4. Visar coming home in P5. Mad Out in P6. Great finish for Mad Out. Toadstool in P7. Danholm Anderson P8. Great race and finish for Marco in P9. He's loving it. He's wiggling to left and right. P10 I Am Bagbud. Jonas in P11. Real big shame there, but hey, anything could have happened. FX in 12th, Nico Perez 13th, Jag Dice 14th, and Justin Birdie 15th. 15 races left out of 27 at the start of this league. Race. So well done to those 15 who stayed with it and kept going. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
What a race. That has been the best race I've watched so far of this league out of the 4 that have been, and hopefully yet more to come.
Absolutely. Right. Let's see if we can drop the guys in for a quick chat. 1 second. Good evening, boys. Thank you very much. We just dropped you down and thought we'd have a quick chat with you guys over some epic racing we've seen tonight. Firstly, we want to speak to Gurinian. Buddy, your racing is absolutely insane. You're like a demon out there. That was some great racing today, and pretty much from both starts, you kind of held that perfectly and got away and did what you needed to do and be clean, fast, and consistent. So, talk us through your race today. Are you pretty happy with those results?
Absolutely, because Slovakia Ring is my favorite track, as I said before. And but I think my time is not very good. 2:08, yes, 9, 2:09. But much more faster guys can do 2:08. So I should improve my time at this track.
You can always tell a dedicated racer when he goes, you know what, I was P1, but I should improve my time next time. No, great racing, my friend, and well done. You know, that's 80 points now for you in the league, so you should be pretty happy with that, and that will give you a nice secure lead, to be honest. Moving on to Helmet, you should be pretty pleased with that young man, especially after making a nice recovery in the second race. And hey, Bean didn't give you any kind of quarter on that second race, mate. He kept the pressure on you the entire way.
Yeah, he did. I mean, fair play to you, Beans. Well, first, congratulations, Zuhai. Great racing, mate. Just, your pace was there. I just couldn't match that. If I'd have got in the toe, I might have had half a chance of keeping up for a few laps. But unless, like Beans, you were in my toe a lot, and it makes such a difference. And then I managed to pull a bit of a gap. But you were pushing so hard, mate. I was pushing really hard, and I completely screwed my front left tyre. It was down to like 39 or something at the end. Another lap, I think you'd have probably got me, mate, because it was ruined. But no, very pleased, Debug. Yep, good race.
Excellent stuff. Well played, mate. Great entertainment, great watching. Beans, mate. Again, also great racing from yourself and great entertainment. You had a great start on the second race, and you had a great position. Shame you got pipped by Helmet, but it was great watching you, because with a minute and a half, 2 minutes to go, it's almost as if you just put a rocket up your arse and just went for it. Because we thought you had Helmet, we thought you had him on that last minute to go. But talk us through your race, mate, because you must be pretty pleased with it.
Yeah, I mean, I done well, but I mean, I couldn't live with the pace of them cars, the Hyundai. I mean, I was in helmet slipstream, and I couldn't gain on him. He was in my slipstream and he passed me. That's the difference between them. But mine went round the corners probably a little bit better.
Definitely, it looked like you were a lot sharper. But no, 1, 2, and 3, great racing, guys. Really enjoyed it. Me and Winch were having a right old good shout up in here. We driver of the match, we've gone for yourself, Gabsy, because race 1 and race 2, so entertaining, mate. You're just on it the entire time, watching overtakes and close shaving and body rubs and that. Yeah. We basically had a decision. It was either going to be you and Allwyn at the end of the race, and when Allwyn lost it, and you
I know I was gutted. I was like going down the main street, and next thing I see Allwyn just shoot past me like he fell asleep at the wheel or something. Like I don't know what the hell happened, but yeah, it was brilliant racing, race 1 and 2 throughout it all. It was just awesome.
Absolutely, yeah, great. I mean, that's a great fun thing about the WTCR18s. They're just fantastic close racing from everybody tonight. And again, congratulations to Zhuhai. Absolutely fantastic racing from all of you lads in here. And me and Winch thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it watching tonight as well. It was great to have your comments and great to have your views on it. Remember, if you don't want to race alone, race RWB, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening and weekend. See you later for now.